Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to talk about how to solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. It says the quadratic formula gives us the real solutions. Remember, we could have imaginary solutions. We don't deal with imaginary solutions in Algebra 1, but we will in Algebra 2. Of the standard form quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And here in this teal or green oval is our quadratic formula. So it is x equals negative b, or opposite of b, plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So you might be sitting there going, wow, that is a crazy formula. Where does it come from? Well, it comes from the standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c, by completing the square. So I actually have a video on that, how to derive the quadratic formula, and I'll put that in the cards right now. Well, let's do an example together. So we have our formula right here, and we just want to solve 12x squared minus 4x minus 5. So remember, there are multiple methods to solving a quadratic equation, but using the quadratic formula is one that you can use every single time. It just takes a little bit of time. So let's take a look. So we have our quadratic formula. Let's go ahead and write it. X equals opposite of b plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Now, one thing to know as you're beginning to do this, go ahead and make a note on to the side. What number is a, what number is b, and what number is c? Well, here is a, here is b, and here is c. So a is 12, b is negative 4, and c is negative 5. So that's kind of a little helpful side note that we can look to and refer to, so we know what exact numbers to plug in for these variables, especially once we're starting out trying to get the hang of the quadratic formula. So now we're going to say x equals opposite, well, b is negative 4, plus or minus the square root, b is negative 4 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 12, times c, which is negative 5. So let me extend my radical there. All divided by 2 times a. Okay, so now we'll scroll down a little bit. Now we can just go through and simplify what we have. So x equals, well, opposite of negative 4 would be positive 4, plus or minus the square root. And now let's kind of do all of this. Maybe let's do one at a time. So negative 4 squared would be 16. And now we have negative 4 times 12 times negative 5. So notice how we have two negatives in there. So I know this is going to be plus. And now we can go ahead and multiply these. And you can multiply 4 times 12 and then multiply by negative 5. Or you can multiply 12 times 5, 60. 60 times 4, and that gives us 240. So that might be a little bit easier. And now let's divide, and 2 times 12 is 24. So let's go this way, and let's say x is equal to 4 plus or minus. And now we can add 240 plus 16 to get 256 and divide by 24. And now let's go to the right, and hopefully you recognize the square root of 256 to be a perfect square, and it is 16. So now we have x equals 4 plus or minus 16 divided by 24. So from this step, we can now create two equations for us to solve to get our two solutions. So one of our equations would be x equals 4 plus 16 divided by 24. And the other one would be x equals 4 minus 16 divided by 24. So now once we simplify, 4 plus 16 is 20. 20 over 24 can simplify 2. We can simplify, divide the top and the bottom by 4. And we're going to get 5 over 6. So one of our solutions is 5/6. And over here, we can do 4 minus 16 to get negative 12 over 24. And this will reduce to negative 1/2. Okay, and that is how you use the quadratic formula to solve a quadratic equation. One extra side note, if you're having trouble memorizing the quadratic formula, I made a YouTube short on how to do that, and it's to the tune of row, row, row your boat. So I'll link that card in the top right-hand corner right now. I hope this is helpful. Don't be scared of the quadratic formula. You can do it.